Hey guys, welcome back. We're now on part 4 of our Enterprise build, and I have the nacelles and pylons are in paint right now, but I did do all the seam work on the pylons, and there's a couple of coats of paint on those right now. It is they are currently drying. I just sprayed them down. So I thought I'd turn my attention to the saucer section here. We have a little bit of lighting here to do. I have to light up all of these windows here. I have to light up the impulse engines back here. I have to light up these 3 navigation lights. And then on the top here, we do have we have this forward facing light. We have lights coming off the side of the BC deck. We got the bridge, we got the window, and then these little lights that go in the corridor along the BC deck. And, well, of course, we have the nav lights, too, on the top. The first thing I did with this is I painted that sensor band silver. I saw in one of the screenshots it looked silver, so I gave that a shot here, as you can see. And I think that's it for the painting. Any other paint details on this are included in the Aztecs, but there are a couple of rings in here that are darker. The landing gear hatches are darker. I can't remember which one of these rings is darker. I will have to be painting in the phaser arrays, but I can hand paint those. I still have to cut out or drill out my photon emitters too. And, well, there is a light. If you can see this little circle here, there's a little circle back here. That is lit up, but there is a pin directly behind that. And then there's the attachment points for the neck behind that. I could take this off and I guess wire in a very small a nano or a pico LED to that. We're going to see. May or may not do that. But the first thing I want to do is focus on the blinkers or the navigation lights. Now, Space Doc did his modeling on the hull. And he was talking about something in here, which I kind of understood, but I didn't really understand it until I put this piece in. The other nice thing, I don't know if I pointed this out, but the numbers for the parts, for the windows, they're on the hull, guys. Look at that. All of them. And then this sensor dome, there's a little arrow back here that, and there's a little arrow on here, right there. So it points you in what direction you're supposed to put this. I thought that was kind of neat. It's always helpful to have window parts, especially if you take them off the tree and you're like, or don't take them off the tree, I don't know. Or don't have the instructions is what I meant to say. If you take them off the tree, you're hosed. But if you don't have your instructions, these are nice to have. Anyways, here are the window pieces for the section I'm currently dealing with. So not only are there windows on here, but there's a little nub underneath for the light here. And there's a little nub on top for the corresponding top navigation light. Well, I need to get LEDs in there. I don't need those. I need to get an LED in here, and I need to get an LED at top. There's not going to be enough room if I leave this as is. Also, if I leave this as is, you're going to get overspill and flashing red. These 3 windows are going to flash red. So I don't want that. So what I'm going to do here is I've blacked off this little triangle up here. I'm going to remove that. And then down here, I have to remove all of this. And the bottom nub underneath. I have to remove all of this to prevent that light from leaking into here. So the only part of the window I'm really going to have left is this piece right here. And on the hull side, I'm going to have to put my LED in here, and I think I'm using is it 1.5 mil or 0.5 mil? I gotta find them. 1.8 is 1.8 mil for the for these. I'm going to hot glue those in there, and I'm going to light block them very well. I might move this. There's a little pin here, and that's the pin for this. I'll be cutting that off of this piece. I won't need it. I'm just going to glue it directly to the hull. I might need to move that for my light blocking. So I'm going to have to do that on this side, and this side, because I will be having these flash too. I mean, this is white, so if it was solid, I wouldn't need to remove it. But since it's going to flash, I don't want the flashing to appear in these front 3 windows. So those are the blinkers. Now for the lighting itself, I think I'm going to put... I'm going to take off... I think I'm going to have to take these little nubs where the model kit, the LEDs are supposed to go, and put 3 strips in, one here, and then one across here. Probably 6 strips in those 3 sections. On the top, since I only really need to light up this, I think I'll put 2 strips, one on either side of the BC deck, and that'll light that up fine. Now for the bridge, although of course those lights will be coming from below, but what I want to do is I want to see if I can get some light. Click that in. I want to see if I can get some more light out these windows, or these little sections here, this section here, this section here. So I might be removing a little bit of the plastic from the inside of these 3 sections and mounting SMDs right there to see if I can... it's going to be difficult because there are windows right there, so I have to create a separation line. We'll see what happens with that. Also, you have 3 LED things right up here that I don't know if I'm going to put a strip right here, see if I can get light out there, or more light out there, or build a light box. I'm not quite sure. I have to do some test lighting. So I'm gonna get back to work on this. The first thing again I want to do is get these nav lights in, so I'm gonna get back to work. I'm gonna get that done. I'll be back when that is done. Alright, we have some lighting done here. We've got 3 strips. We have our 3 flashers in as well. So these 3 strips, let's see if we can light them up real quick. Yeah, there we go. That's what those look like. And those will light up the windows. They will light up the BC and the dome and the window, and these 3 here. This thing up here as well. We have our 3 flashers in here. You can see how those look real quick. There we go. Of course, those will be light blocked even better than they are now. If you don't light block them, you can see you're going to get red blinking, green blinking, and white flashing out those windows. So I've got some tulip on them right now. I'm going to go back and cover the whole LED with some electrical tape and hot glue that into place to make sure none of it gets to these windows up here. We still have a few things down here to worry about. Oh yeah, I did get my my photon torpedo. Got those holes drilled there. You can see them. And I painted the top. We have these 2 lights, which go out onto the hull. I'm going to have to perhaps cut a little off of there. And we have, of course, the impulse engines, which I now have in place. I kind of outlined the there's a little bit of grid work around there that I outlined with silver Sharpie, just so that you can see it. Otherwise, it would just look weird, I think. We still have this back hole here. I haven't decided if I'm going to do anything there. But yeah, so that's where we are here. We got all our wires. I have to remember, because these flash. And there are other flashers, I think. I'll have to look. But I think there might be some flashers on the secondary hull. Or the only flasher that's on there is on the bottom where the base comes out. I'll have to look. Regardless, I have to mark these off because they are going into the base, where my timing chip will be for these 3 lights. Well, actually, they will be 6 lights when I get to that point, because we have 3 more to put on top. And there is very little room to work with in between here and the windows, as in there is literally almost no room. You can see that little tiny divot there is where we have to put our SMD in. we're going to have to shave that down a heck of a lot to get it to fit in the 3 flashers on top. Almost so much that I'm debating whether or not to use fiber optics, because these are really small holes. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to get back to work and get some more lights in here, and I'll be back. I got the rest of the lights in here. Added a strip back here. Light blocked these guys here. Added a couple of lights out here and here to help illuminate the hull from these little windows or little slots here. Added a strip back here to help with the impulse lights. Did drill out this hole, and actually you can see light coming through there now, so it does have light that comes through it. I wasn't actually able, I was getting light leak from these two, so be very careful when you put your LEDs up there. There's little to no room. It's going to be even worse when I go to do this, but I was getting light leak into the windows, so I had to actually black out the center window on each side. I didn't want the blinking to come through. I also marked off my blinker wires here. I got everything going out down through this hole, which is where it should go, not through these 2 holes. That's where the tabs are from the other piece. But yeah, I got all my wires coming down. Marked off my 2 blinker wires with some silver paint on the actual tips of the wires themselves, or near the tips of the wires. So that is going to be it for the bottom here. I'm going to get to work on the top. Won't be as complex. I'm not putting as many lights in. I'm putting a couple of strips alongside this line here in the bridge. And I'm putting my blinkers in, and that should do it for the top. So I'm going to get to work on that. Be right back. I've got all my lights in here now. I did add this strip up here. We're going to hopefully not run into any problems with the height on this. It's right about here, which is right about in here. So hopefully I have enough height in this to fit that in there. If not, I'll have to remove it, or angle it, pop it out of here and angle it down. I did get these 3 lights in. I had to use fiber optics as the SMDs, even shaved down, I couldn't get them into there. So I got the SMD mounted back here, and a little bit of fiber optic going into there. As far as clearance goes, I am going to have to remove a little bit of this front window up here. The top of this is not quite flush. There's a little divot on this piece on the top side. There's a little divot right there at the top because of this window extends up a little bit. I'm going to have to shave that down, which might affect the window itself. We will see, but it's got to be flush with the with this edge here. I'm also going to remove a little bit of these windows here. That won't matter because the window itself, as you can see, is like right in the center there. So removing the top of this isn't a big deal. I just want to make sure I have clearance for the fiber optic and the SMD. The SMD shouldn't be bad. I'm just worried about the fiber optic hitting the tips of these windows, and especially up here. So I'll get to work on that. I have to remove the paint around this edge, and I should be ready to slap these 2 pieces together. So we'll be back with that. Alright, I got the saucer together. Went together really well. A lot better than I was expecting. As anyone who's built one of these or any flying saucer knows, that could be a very trying thing is getting these 2 to mate properly. All the wires are coming out through the specific hole from the lighting kit. The seam isn't so bad. It is right on line with the windows, so I'll have to be careful. I'll have to tape those off when I'm going and doing my seam work. But honestly, as you guys can see, not anything to write home about as far as the seam goes. It really isn't that bad at all. I got some overflow. I'll just cut that off. Glue. It's adhesive. I'll just cut it off. I do have to repaint some of my sensor band, like right in there. I got a little, I rubbed some off. I forgot to put another coat of clear on before I started to work on this. So, yeah, some of the sensor band's rubbed off, but I'll just put that in. Got a little bit of seam work to do up in here by the impulse engines. But yeah, not too bad, not too shabby. I still have to clip off these fiber optics here and here. I still have to go back in and paint the phaser banks on the top and on the bottom here. But otherwise, that is done. So, next week, we'll be moving on. I'll have to do, I think over the weekend, I'll do my seam work and my little painting details I have to do. Touch up that sensor band. And then next week we'll be working on the secondary hull. We'll be getting the pylons, the warp pylons, which are done. They're just drying. I think I have to put a coat of clear on those, and they'll be done. But we'll be attaching those to the sides of the secondary or engineering hull, and we'll be figuring that out as far as lights go. So I want to thank everyone for watching, and I'll check you guys next week. Till then, take care.